Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Ascended Masters. I am here with my real brother here, Lance Schuttler. You guys, yeah, I love this guy. He's been on before. You've probably seen him on Ascended Masters already, but I really wanted to, he's just got such the purest spirit in the whole world, right? And he's really just on a journey to help our lives be better. And so he's dedicated his life to really coming up with the things that we need to do, that we can ingest, that'll help us in our journey called life, to really give us really a better edge, literally, you know what I mean? And help us get through things, you know what I mean? Help us feel better, help us think better, help us get more connected. So I asked Lance to come back on here again, because you gotta, if you haven't met him already, you're gonna fall in love with him like everybody else does, but just really just get a vibe for what he's saying, because it's super important here. Lance, welcome. Lance is the founder of Ascent Nutrition here, and I have all the links in the description below, so you can check out what he's got going on here. But brother, how are you, man? It's good to have you back.
Hey, Jay. Thanks, man. Always great talking with you, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's great, man. So I want to dive right in, because again, people are always looking for something. I mean, we're spirits having this human experience. So I think everybody's starting to more and more realize that, okay, this is armor. You know what I mean? Sometimes it feels heavy, sometimes it feels this, and it's always about making it feel better, making sure our spirit has a comfortable experience. You've got a couple of things, and we talked about this last time on Ascended Masters, and we'll have that link in the description below so you can find out about this pine pollen powder, everybody. But Lance, for the people that are just tuning in, pine pollen powder, say that 5 times, right? Tell us a bit about that, your creation on that, and what is that intended to do for us?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Jay. So I'll share my screen. And I've got an article that I've written on this. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it is a lengthy article, but I'll touch on the highlights of what this is. So it's the pollen from pine trees, and we're actually getting ours from Canada. We're wild crafting with respect to land, to nature. We're working with very good people up there. And this pine pollen, what it is it actually has 200 different nutrients in it that the body can use. So before I talk about that, I like to show this short little clip for people. You can see that tree falling, and that is all pine pollen coming out of it. Okay, it looks like dust. Now, I call this stuff cosmic stardust, because when you see it and feel it in person, it's so fine. I mean, it's finer than the dust particles you find on the floor, and it's amazing, amazing stuff. So 200 different nutrients in it. And the big thing with it, Jay, is that there's these phytohormones. They're also called steroids. They're plant hormones that are bioidentical to hormones in the human body. We won't get used to them like if we would take a synthetic hormone, but it will still exert the same effects of these bioidentical hormones. So testosterone, estrogen, and other phytohormones like that. So a lot of people know that DHEA, it's a they call the lutein hormone. Very good for brain health, very good for detoxifying, especially the brain, and just really supporting mood and outlook and cognitive health and things like that. So we know, like in human health, if we can balance hormones and really make sure that they're optimized, it's exerting a wide range of effects in the body.
So let me ask you this then. So let's say, for example, and that is a big issue with people, both female and male, really. And, you hear more and more about it affecting males that hasn't come out in the forefront. So I'm looking at the pine pollen powder. So let's say someone says, okay, well, they want to balance their hormones particularly. How would they ingest this? What would be the most effective way for them to start with that process? And how much would you recommend they start taking?
Yeah, 2 grams a day is what we suggest. And the easiest way, there's actually a lot of easy ways to take it. So you can mix it in with juice, a smoothie, you can mix it with your coffee, mix it in with yogurt, cereal, other foods. There's not much taste to it. So you can really mix it well with a lot of different things. And it works extremely well as a garnish. Because it's got that yellow dust-like substance, and it just really makes things look neat and exotic.
Yeah,
Exactly. So one thing with this pine pollen is that it induces this anabolic growth within the cells. And so this is a pine pollen grain, and then these are two little air sacs. And then this is the germination phase. And you can kind of see how this, the doctrine of signatures in nature, we see things that are good for things that are happening in the body. So as an example, the gotu-kola leaf, or ginkgo rather, it kind of looks like a brain, and we know that ginkgo is commonly used for brain health. This kind of looks like a male reproductive part, and it's not surprising that these phytohormones really do help to support libido for both men and women. And there's different things going on with that specifically. One compound, phenylalanine, actually has been shown, it's a precursor to L-DOPA, and L-DOPA has actually been shown to help a woman actually have an orgasm. Now, we're having an adult, mature conversation here, and some people want that, and some people are looking for that, and definitely the pine pollen really does help with libido. In traditional Chinese medicine, Jay, they've used pine pollen for at least a couple thousand years, and one of the big things is helping to support a healthy libido and just more active.
And 2 grams a day is all you take. 2 grams a day, that's it. Boom. And you can put it in whatever water. You could take a shot, put it in smoothie or now, would you put it in coffee, or would the heat have any effect on that?
So some compounds it will destroy, but if you let the coffee sit for a little while, I mean, not that you would want to do that, but some people mix it in. Some compounds will be destroyed by the heat or cooking, but most of them will not.
Got it. So, who in their infinite wisdom, it's so fascinating when you think about it. You think about the illustration you showed us about a tree that fell down, and we saw this magic yellow dust, right? And all of a sudden, and then someone knows instinctively to be like, I wonder what that could do for us, right? Isn't that wild when you think about that? I mean, that's the beautiful part about that. What drew you to it, and what really got you connected to something that you would see, like said, okay, like a tree falling down, and then again, the dust comes up. When you're in your mind, when you think about it, because you obviously been, you're getting downloads from somewhere or something, in your mind, when you see that, what instinctively came out of what thoughts instinctively came from you on that?
The sheer power of the pine. So if you think about a pine tree in general, they're typically pretty tall and erect and straight. And in Canada, as an example, where we're harvesting, those trees are going through brute forces of nature. The cold winds, the pounding of the winds, the rain, the snow, the extreme variations in the temperatures, and just all the natural forces. And so what happens is those trees, Jay, they have to create compounds to protect themselves. And so when we take the pollen in, we're taking in those nutrients that are protecting the pine trees. And now, they freely disperse them in the spring, and it's about to start happening right now. So it's not like we're taking anything from them. They freely give it to us when the time's right, and we harvest, and we as humans can take that in, and we're really going to benefit from all those different nutrients in there.
That's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the way I see it is we're taking in the cosmic forces that are generating all these nutrients. So when we consume them, we're literally taking in the life force of those pine trees.
You know what I love too about your stuff, and I know we talked about this last time, but and I want to illustrate your site here in just a second. But this is at 2 grams a day. This is going to last a long time for people. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll last about 30 days.
Oh, that's pretty good. And
Yeah.
then that's gonna just get them back to where they whatever, like where they feel like you mentioned, the kickstarts or re-engineers or re-kickstarts the libido for them, or that's one of the big, I guess, staples of this, would you say?
Definitely. And a lot of people know about the information that Judy Mikovits came out with about pine trees and pine needles and all of that. And the pine pollen, kind of relates to that in different ways. It is very detoxifying. It is very good for respiratory health and immune system health, because of all those different nutrients in there. And when you exert effects on hormones, again, it's going to have a broad range of cascading effects in the body.
Is there things that you shouldn't take this with, Lance? Any type of things, or is it pretty safe to take with everything? From what you're trying to say?
Yeah, in general, it's safe. I mean, if someone's taking pharmaceuticals, we have to legally say consult with your doctor. But in general, they're safe for most people.
Got it. Okay, cool. Right on, right on. 2 grams a day, everybody. Sounds like it's good for date night. You know what I mean? It's just good.
Yeah.
But check it out and just keep it in your closet. This is awesome. I know we've been trying it, man. You know, not only has it been like, you know, again, everything, you know, but you know, working out and everything, it's really good. It's a really cool thing. We put it in smoothies and everything. So, and it looks pretty cool. It you know, pretties up the drink or fancies it up. So give it a go, everybody. Optimal Health right here. This is really cool. And I know you put a lot of time and resource and a lot of science into this. So, and this is taking over. You probably have already heard about this because we're seeing this everywhere. That's the other reason I wanted to bring you back, because I'm seeing everybody's talking about, you know, what you got going on, Lance. So God bless you, brother. You're very blessed on this. Thank you for creating this one.
Thank you, Jay. God bless you too. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
for sure. I want to get to this one if we can. The algae oil DHA. So I know we got this, and this is something that you've just come out with too recently, right?
Yes. So this is an algae DHA product, different than DHEA, which we talked about in the other product. But DHA, you know, this is a whole conversation that we could talk about this for a few hours, but I'll get to the points of it very quickly. So there's this neuroscientist in London, and he's the director of the Institute of Brain Chemistry and Human Nutrition. And he had published this paper back in 2012 called A Quantum Theory for the Irreplaceable Role of Docosahexaenoic Acid, DHA, in neural cell signaling throughout evolution. Okay, so what he basically stated in this paper is that DHA is more important than DNA itself. Now, you know, those are his words. I do, in general, agree with a lot of what he's saying. And the reason is because DHA is actually a quantum processor for photons. So even the reason for us having this conversation, or how we can have this conversation and how we can see and communicate and hear and understand and interpret, DHA is the main compound that is responsible for that. So it accumulates in the brain. Like most of the fat in our brain is actually this DHA. So a lot of people equate DHA to fish or fish oil, and that's true, but the fish eat the algae. So what we wanted to do, Jay, is just go to the source, cut out all of the industrial processing that has to take place, all of the stuff that's involved with it, and just go straight to the source. And so that's what we got. But I want to read something real quick based on this. So he said, we offer a theoretical explanation based on the quantum mechanical properties of DHA for such extreme conservation. This unique molecular structure of DHA allows for quantum transfer of communication of pi electrons, which explains the precise depolarization of retinal membranes, so the eyes, and the cohesive, organized neural signaling, which characterizes higher intelligence. So the nervous system is dependent on DHA. It's a structural component of it. We as humans need DHA. We need to consume it, and we need to continually consume it because it accumulates in the eyes and the brain and the whole nervous system.
So when you're consuming DHA, like for example, like in this particular example with this, like how would I ingest this? Like what would you say like is the best way to use this? And I know you have instructions, but I just want to hear it from your side.
Yeah. So we say 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of DHA per day, and so there's a graduated dropper on there, and so you can see the mLs. So one ml is 1,000 milligrams.
What is that then? So when you take that in there, is that best to take Lance on like an empty stomach or anything like that, or doesn't matter, or you know, as far as when you take it, number one, and how you take it, or with anything?
There's really not a particular time that's better than others. I mean, some people will say that you want to take it with fat, and that is true, but DHA will actually metabolize very well. in I mean, almost everyone. The efficiency of it is very, very good. So, I mean, I do take it with, let's say, a meal or other fats. Um, but it's really up to a person. Definitely I'll take it before I'm doing a show like this, or
Yeah.
before I need to do something that's really engaging my mind, because it actually is really impacting the brain in some incredible ways. So I'll get to one thing. So it's actually responsible for the voltage in the brain, and they call it the master omega, for maximizing mental and cognitive speed and efficiency. So all of the electrical signals in the brain is literally dependent on enough DHA. There's other things, of course, but DHA is the most fundamental, important compound in the brain for communication.
Is there a place in our life or a stage in our life, Lance, that we start to lose, or DHA starts to leave our body, where we have to start to quickly replenish it?
So it's not a particular stage, but there are situations. So if a person's not consuming it, that's naturally the easiest answer. But then if a person is undergoing a lot of stress, or basically when free radicals start oxidizing that DHA, it starts to degrade. So that's why we need to continually consume it, regardless of one's age. And actually, pregnant mothers and children, like, they are the most important people to take enough DHA, because when the fetus is growing in the womb, they're taking DHA from the mother to literally create the whole nervous system in the brain. It's literally that important.
So it's that same concept when you go to a pregnant person. Oh, I'm eating for two. It's like they're absorbing for two, literally, right?
Yes.
Got it. Huh. Okay.
Exactly. So there's one thing I want to talk about voltage with this. So you can measure voltage, and the brain's, the neuron's membrane, the voltage is about 0.07 volts. And so if you take like just a AA battery, the measurement on that is 1.15 volts. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. But because the neuronal membrane is so small or thin, to actually calculate what the voltage is, you have to take the volts divided by the thickness of it. Okay. So the brain, the human brain, it's about 14 million volts of energy per meter. Now, lightning to form only needs 3 million volts per meter. So the brain, the voltage in the brain is about 5 times stronger than what it takes to create lightning.
That's amazing.
And yes, and DHA, again, is structurally fundamental for that to happen, because it's literally taking the photons and the electrons from the sun, light, and it's transducing that and then converting that light energy, those photons, into a electrical signal in the brain. And so that's how we communicate, hear, think, talk, read, memorize, recall, all of it.
So, the hot topic in today's world, obviously in the spiritual world, or whatever you want to call it, is the pineal gland. How does this affect the pineal gland in any way?
Yes. So I'll get to that here real shortly. I just want to
think, yeah, sure.
One other thing. So, okay, 97% of the omega-3s in the brain are DHA. So again, just conveying the importance of it. And in the first 6 months of human life, we need that. In Australia, they actually have a health policy for pregnant mothers that they strongly recommend consuming 800 milligrams per day, at least, of DHA. Now,
this should be on every college campus, right?
Absolutely.
For real.
Every nursing home, college campus, school, everywhere. I mean, it's that important. I'm going to come back to something around neurogenesis and brain health, and then I'm going to get to your pineal gland information. But a lot of one topic that people are really interested in as well is telomeres and genes and longevity. And DHA actually supports the size of the telomeres. So we know, like in health and wellness, biohacking, neurohacking fields, people talk about the longer your telomeres are, or if you can lengthen them, that's going to promote longevity. And that's true. And DHA actually supports the size of telomeres. Amazing stuff. It's actually turning on different genes to where they're going to express in healthy ways.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So the pineal gland.
Got it right there. Right on.
Yes. Yes. So our eyes, we're only seeing, Jay, about 0.0035% of the whole electromagnetic spectrum. So all the gamma rays, X-rays, you know, we can't see those. We know they're there. We can measure them, but we can't see them. The eyes, we're picking what we see. We're just picking up on that percent of the whole spectrum. And the eyes, the rods and the cones, that's what is doing that. But again, it's DHA, because those rods and cones are loaded with DHA in those membranes. So one thing in relation to the pineal gland is that it's actually been shown that neurons that have enough DHA actually induce neurogenesis, or the creation of new neurons in the pineal gland, which is crazy. I mean, there's probably very few substances that can actually do that and make that claim, but DHA is one of those things. Yeah. And then cardiovascular health, you know, a lot of people know about taking fish oil or omega-3s, great for cardiovascular, great for promoting a healthy inflammatory response. That's, you know, all there. I'm not going to really touch on that too much.
Would you say, I want to just get back to usage if I can, brother, with you, because I'm sure people are, you know, already at the site right now ordering. So would you say that this would be like would you say like, so the one thing is the way it's measured out, would it be like maybe 2 droppers then that they would maybe take if they want to really power down in it?
Yeah. So when you squeeze it, it'll fill up to a little over 0.5 mLs.
Yeah.
And you'll need to take 2 to 4 of those half droppers to get 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of DHA.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, I want to just touch again briefly on the DNA and quantum tunneling in DHA and what this scientist said. So he said, over 600 million years of animal genomes underwent countless mutations, so forth. We suggest that DHA is the master of DNA since the beginning of animal evolution. Proteins are selected to function with the constancy of DHA. Okay, so in other words, DHA, most compounds in nature, when we think of how things have evolved, and I'm not coming from the Darwinian stance of evolution because I don't think that's accurate. I'm just saying in general how compounds can evolve. Most of these compounds do evolve, but DHA, because it has been so energy efficient and served its role so well, it has not changed in millions or billions of years or whatever, you know, the real number is. So that's, again, just showcasing how fundamental to life DHA is. It's a literal natural semiconductor. It's taking photons of light, transducing them, and turning them into an electrical signal that the brain and the neurons can read and interpret. And it does this through quantum tunneling. And basically, quantum tunneling is a process that conventional physics would say isn't possible or shouldn't be possible, but they've even admitted that quantum tunneling does happen because it's clear as day that it happens, and they have to admit it. So it's amazing stuff. And then one last thing with this, Jay, in relation to brain health and the whole nervous system, I've been working on this for a while, and this is something that I just recently announced when we did release this product just a few days ago. And I'm happy to be sharing this on here with you right now, because this is really going to help a lot of people. So a lot of people with supplements want to know how much should I take and what effects should I be getting? You know, what's a protocol or what's a regimen, you know? With this, based on 12 different human clinical studies using algae oil, we can show and we can authentically state that if a person takes 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of algae DHA per day over a period of 3 to 6 months, most people will build up their DHA levels to peak omega-3 status, which is what we want. And so when that happens, it reaches peak omega-3 levels, a compound called synaptamide is produced, and that induces neurogenesis, or the repairing of damaged neurons, the creation of new neurons, and the strengthening of the connection between neurons. So we actually have a regimen with this product that will help, let's say, people who are into biohacking or neurohacking, or people who just want to support brain health, make their brain work more efficiently, more optimally, the nervous system. We actually have a regimen with this of, okay, you can take this amount, and this is, according to the studies, this is what happens over time in most people.
And people, migraines, headaches, just related to the brain. I mean, is there any type of support on that? How that could help with those kind of things?
Okay, so I have to be careful with how I word this and answer that question, just due to FDA regulations. But it wouldn't be surprising if someone felt effects if they're going through that. Now, I can't say that it's going to, but it wouldn't surprise me if people do feel that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I got you. Yep, I got you. I know it's crazy how you're all bound with what you got, and you're coming out with some amazing stuff here. And you can tell, man, you've been working on this, and this is pretty amazing. I'm so excited about this, and it just is. It feels good. You hold it, and I know there's people that do these muscle testings and things like that. So if you're one of those, you're going to feel like this will, most likely pass your test. But 2 grams a day here, 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams a day here. I mean, you can be right as rain. This is pretty wild, man. This is really great. I love it. I love it. What else would you like to share about these, man? I'm going to have the links for everybody else where they can find it and order it. Lance, what else would you like for them to know about that, and what's coming up new for you?
Yeah. So the thing with these products is, as we've talked about many times, Jay, like, we're intentionally sourcing what we see as the most unique out there, because we want to offer something that's really going to help people. And of course, there's many supplements that help people, but we really want to offer things that are going to exert a wide range of effects and be very, very effective for people. Because if people are spending their hard-earned money, they want to feel the effects. I want to feel the effects, and we're going for things where people can actually feel them, and they notice, and they know, hey, I'm spending this money and I'm actually feeling something good from this.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you have stood by that. I mean, ever since I've known you, man, it's like you go to your site, and you all see this for yourself. When you go to Ascent Nutrition, you're going to see Lance's stuff there. I mean, he's got it priced out, quite frankly, but anybody can get it. I mean, you really have made it available to everybody, and bless you for that, brother. That's really good on you for doing that. This is cool, man. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to get moving on this here too. This is pretty cool. I know this is a new one right here. The pine pollen, we're having a great experience with. This stuff is definitely pretty wild, everybody. So definitely check this out. Add it to your smoothies, add it to wherever you want to do. Give it a go. You'll see for yourself. I mean, actions speak louder than words, right? So cool, man. Thanks, brother. I appreciate everything. Look at that. Look at that, everybody. I mean, who can't do that? I mean, to get your brain clear, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And people notice we don't have any reviews on it because we just launched it, but we actually, this is selling faster than even our pine pollen. And our pine pollen, we'll get it in, it sells out very fast.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'll selling even faster.
Well, I'm definitely, we got a college kid, and I'm getting him on this right away,
Awesome.
for him. Yeah. Who knows what he's doing up there. So, what I mean, to get in the system. I'm sure everybody else can agree with me on that one, right? Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. You're seeing it, everybody. You're seeing how easy it is just to add it to your cart, get it for you, get it for your loved ones. I mean, anybody that's special in your life that you want to see them have a better existence in life. You can just buy more, right? And just send it to them. They definitely, I mean, I think I've always felt this way, Lance, just giving someone the gift of a better health is the best gift you can give anybody. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's typically what I buy for people, is things that are going to help their health, because I agree 100%. Like, we're all looking to just be happier and healthier.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't have your health, what does it matter, right?
Yeah.
So So do your thing, everybody. Hey, brother, thanks and much love to you for your service, for real. I really appreciate what you're doing and, you know, taking the time to come out here and talk to us. I know you got a very busy schedule with getting out there, with fulfilling orders and, getting awareness for the company. So thanks a lot for we do appreciate you taking the time here today. The links will be in the description below, everybody. So please do check it out. Do yourself a favor, give it a go, get it for your families. I really think you're going to absolutely love this as part of your regimen. Thanks for hanging out with us as you always do. Much love to you. We'll see you next time. Much love to you, brother. See you next time also.
You too, Jay. Thank you.